Large triangular UFO photographed over Puerto Rico. This UFO case report comes from the excellent website UFOevidence.org. The date was May 15th, 2005 in Carolina, Puerto Rico. Quote, I saw an immense triangular object. I can tell you and compare it to the size of a ballpark or two enormous ballparks. It was going very slowly, passed directly over me. It made no noise whatsoever and was going slowly, very slowly. And that's when the van's engine and lights went out completely. I managed to capture the craft and photograph it. There was one of the images here. We'll go through how he captured it, and they had interesting effects on his vehicle and biological effects we'll talk about. Chris Lehto, welcome to LehtoFiles. This report comes from the Journal of Hispanic Ufology, September 15, 2005 edition. To our readers, this information has just been received from researchers Jose Martinez and Willie Urbina of Puerto Rico's Proyecto Argus. So this was the preliminary report. More witnesses to the sighting are coming forward since there were people on the avenue when the event took place. At the time of this preliminary report, only one person photographed the object, but the investigators are aware that more people saw it, including administrative personnel from Luis Munoz Marin International Airport. Okay, this is from the transcript with the witness. Willie. Hi, Wilfredo. Please tell us the experience you had when you left work. Wilfredo. Well, it was one night when I left work at around 12 midnight. I was in the town of Carolina near the Los Angeles development on an avenue exactly facing the airport and beyond Valdeoriotti de Castro Avenue, or exactly behind Valdeoriotti. Then I saw a glow that came from behind a hill and thought it was strange. Willie. Is a hill there? Wilfredo. That's right, in the rear. That's when I heard the dogs barking, the birds singing, and I saw the animals were becoming desperate. I was frightened. What could it be? Then when I looked behind me, I saw a great, very large glow, but I couldn't see the craft because I was inside the van. I pulled the van over and got out. That's when I saw an immense triangular object. Can't give you the exact measurements, can't describe it in meters, but I can tell you and compare it to the size of a ballpark or two enormous ballparks. It was going very slowly and passed directly over me. Willie. Was it making any noise in particular? Wilfredo. None. No sound, just a light coming out of the middle. So I found this part interesting again, is we hear no sound, just a light coming out of the middle. So a super bright light, which is what we hear on all these accounts. Willie continues. Did you feel any heat, atmospheric changes, or temperature changes as the object went by? Wilfredo. Yes. It seems that the light emitted some sort of heat. I don't know what kind of heat. It was like a high voltage bulb, and you could feel the heat of the light. It made no noise whatsoever and was going slowly, very slowly. And that's when the van's engine and lights went out completely. I got inside, tried to turn the engine over, but nothing. But before getting inside, I took my camera phone and tried to take photos of the object, but I had to remove the finder to lower the light intensity because it couldn't be seen in the photos when I took it. I removed the light intensity from the camera, and that's how I managed to capture the craft and photograph it. Then I took another photo from inside my vehicle, and that's strange because nothing electrical worked, yet the cell phone camera worked. I don't know how, but it's as if they wanted me to take a picture. I'm up here, take a picture is what I'm thinking. Then I took the shot and it kept moving. The street lights went out as it flew overhead, flying over the parking lot and away. Okay, so I thought that was very interesting that the van actually went out as well as the street lights also went out as this thing flew overhead. But somehow his camera phone still worked. Kevin Knuth has talked about this. I covered it in a video. Due to extreme magnetic fields, if you had unbelievably strong electromagnetic field. So the magnetic field could actually interfere with electronics such as spark plugs and actually shut down a gas engine because it shuts off the spark plugs. In that sense, I guess it could also interfere with all your electrical equipment because he said the starter wouldn't work. When he tried to turn over the engine, there was just nothing there, as well as the street lights. You know, how do they work? Could it be under intense magnetic fields? Would it shut those off as well? And yet somehow his cell phone worked. You know, you wonder, is it magnetically shielded? Would his cell phone be shielded? I couldn't see what brand it actually was. Willie continues. Did other cars stop as the UFO flew overhead? Wilfredo. Yes, there were some 3 cars, but quite far from where I was. When the UFO went away, my van started up just fine. I even found it strange that the airport was under the object's path, and its lights also went out. There must be more people there who saw the object too. After passing over the airport, it went higher and vanished into the sky at high speed. Wow, that's amazing. So it looks like there were people at the airport, but if it flew directly over the airport, it might be hard to see, how many people are actually there past midnight, late. Even if airports are manned 24 hours, there's just a few people up in the tower. They should be looking outside. They should have seen it, especially noting if all their equipment goes off. So interesting, we haven't heard anything more about this. It's not in the case report. It's also interesting that it just vanished in the sky at a high speed like we hear in most of these cases. Willie continues. Did you see any airplanes at the sighting spot or near it in the vicinity of the sky? Wilfredo. I didn't see any other airplanes flying over the area. It was also cloudy. In fact, as the object rose, it was possible to see the clouds very well lit by the object as it ascended. It was so immense that the glow continued lighting up more and more clouds. I looked at this and thought, wow. And Willie continues, and it lit up the area you were at? Wilfredo, yes. It all looked like noon. It was incredible. Willie, what residential developments were you facing when you took the photo? Wilfredo, urban Los Angeles. Willie, could you give us a point of reference, such as shop or business? Wilfredo, no shop or business as a reference. It's a very large avenue. The intercepts Baldo Riotti and crosses Los Angeles right in the middle of the development. It's a major avenue that takes you to the heart of Los Angeles development. There are houses on either side. In fact, the bridge on Baldo Riotti is an overpass that leads to that avenue. Willie, in other words, the event occurred near that overpass? Wilfredo, the event occurred at the overpass. Willie, did your car experience any paint alterations or changes? So this is an interesting question. David Grush mentioned that there was a defense contractor who he talked to and interviewed that saw a giant triangular craft just like this, silent, following his car in the morning. And then later on, the car had physical paint effects. So whatever surface was facing up, like deteriorated, had some sort of paint effects that we'll hear about similar to this case. Wilfredo, the vehicle, well, it was stolen some 3 weeks after the event. No one heard anything. It was an odd robbery. No one heard anything, and my van had a pipe on its muffler that made it heard from far away when the engine was running. But no one heard anything. They took it while I was asleep, and no one heard anything. Willie, your car was stole from your own home? Wilfredo, yes, from my home. It's odd, but some 2 weeks after the experience, I began noticing that the paint on the car began to show some little spots. Willie, were you able to recover the vehicle later? Wilfredo, no. It was stolen not very long ago, about a month and a half following the UFO experience. Then I realized that nothing could remove those spots, as if the spots were coming from within the paint outward. The stains were blood red and mud-colored that fell on the paint. In desperation, I even applied degreaser to the paint, but nothing worked to remove the spots. It's as if it was burned. It was throughout the entire vehicle. Okay, so that seems very similar to what David Grush said about the defense contractor. Also interesting is that the vehicle was stolen. That seems kind of ridiculous to me. Could this be because this was actual physical effects from the UFO and information was getting out about it? Unknown. Willie, as far as your health is concerned, did you undergo psychological changes after the experience with the object? Wilfredo, I got sick after the experience. I became ill. I don't know if it has anything to do with what I saw. Willie, how long or how many days went by before you got sick? Wilfredo, 2 weeks after the experience, I was bedridden. I'd never been so sick. I'm a very healthy person. It's hard for me to get sick, much less bedridden. Willie, what was the diagnosis? Wilfredo, it was like a cold or something. I felt weak. Willie, did they do any blood work to check your corpuscles? Wilfredo, yes, but everything was all right in the lab tests. Willie, have you felt well after that cold? Wilfredo, yes. Willie, it's odd that your vehicle was stolen. Wilfredo, yes, that happened after I spoke to a female coworker who claimed having been abducted by aliens. She told me about her experiences. It turns out that 2 days after she told me, I felt as though I were being watched. There must be some connection between my coworker's experience and mine. There must be something. Willie, your car's theft must have been related to the event. Did you report the theft? Wilfredo, yes, I have the report number and everything. It's been 2 months and still no sign of it. Willie, what color were the craft's lights? Wilfredo, it was only a white light, incandescent, in the middle of the object. Its edges had no observable lights, only that central light that covered the entire object. I could see a sort of metal frame, but the light kept me from seeing what was in the middle. Something metallic could be seen at its tips. Willie, did it change colors? Wilfredo, no. Willie, any interesting details come to mind? Wilfredo, of course, when I'm asleep, I feel as though I'm being watched. It doesn't let me sleep because I feel myself being watched. It's like a sensation of being spied upon, looked at. Willie, well, Wilfredo, anything else you may feel, a strange dream, any other experiences related to your case, please let us know immediately so we can probe deeper into your case. Many thanks for trusting us and for explaining your experience. Thanks for sharing it. Project Argus, September 15, 2005. Okay, wow, very interesting case with photographs from his camera phone. Not bad photographs from a camera phone in 2005, actually. And again, we hear kind of the same things. I briefed an electromagnetic propulsion video recently. The defense contractor got a great look at the craft. He said it was powered by some sort of anode-cathode electrical system. He could see the plasma. That was a barbell-shaped UFO. This one is triangle one, which seems very similar to what David Grush mentioned about the defense contractor, who said a large 300-foot triangle craft followed his vehicle. And then they had noticeable paint issues, right, on the surfaces that were faced up, as if it had been affected by some sort of weird electromagnetic energy. Interesting here, too, is he says some sort of heat came from the craft. This was similar to the Westall UFO. Again, no noise, can move around in a ridiculous manner, can float. Although they did say there may have been a slight humming noise and some heat coming from the craft. One of the witnesses said that, Tanya, I believe. So an interesting case, and again, seems like some sort of electromagnetic propulsion. It's emitting some sort of field that's shutting off all your electronics in the area, but not all the electronics, because the camera phone still worked. So if anyone has an idea on why would the camera phone still work while the car electronics and the street lights went out, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. It really helps, and it's free. Consider subscribing to get future notifications of when I release videos. And you might like this video recommended by YouTube just for you. If you want to support the channel, join these great people over here, get exclusive bonus content, then click this button here, patreon.com/chrislehto, or become a YouTube member. If you want to continue the discussion, go to UAPSociety Discord. Links are all in the description. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.